Hi, this is Bob Brown, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This was recorded on Wednesday, December 28, 2016. This is part of my business life experiences. And this is for a lot of people out there, especially younger people. I want you to become aware of what I call camouflage or masquerade businesses. Camouflage businesses are really financial organizations or institutions that are trying to sell people, especially lower income people, young people, people just starting out in life, people starting over in life. They're selling high interest loans to you to get goods and services that you may need, and you may even desperately need these services. A couple examples: there are a lot of companies that will sell you furniture, and they're not really interested in selling you furniture. They're really more interested in selling you the loan or the high interest rate payments. That's what they want to sell you, so you get this furniture. And you may be a young person in life, you don't understand business, and you're like, man, I need a bed to sleep in. I'm sleeping on the floor. I need something. Got to give me something. And then so there's kind of a desperation that draws you to these types of businesses. Same things for automobiles, but they tend to cluster around automobiles and furniture because these are things that people are, they're semi-necessities that you have to have. And what I'm saying is be very careful because they're camouflaged, just like a duck hunter. A duck hunter is going to put out his decoys, and the mallards or the Canada geese or whatever, you know, the wood ducks, they see those other ducks. They say, oh, this is a safe place to land. Of course, they land, and the hunters harvest the ducks. Nothing against hunting. If you want to hunt, that's fine. But this is a decoy, and this is what these businesses do. They put a decoy out. They go and buy these things. They put them in front of you, and what they really want to do is sell you into debt, into servitude. So you need to be aware of these businesses. If you go in, you want to ask up front, what is your payment plans? What is your interest rates? What are the penalty rates? What happens if I can't make a payment? Just get that all out in front. Because these organizations usually have an entire cadre of systems, including repossessions, repo men, to come get your car, to come get your furniture, legal, you know, they have everything ready to come at you. Because again, you're not really a customer to them. You're just a financial debt instrument they're trying to grab into their system. So I would avoid these types of companies. I'm not naming them. But you should be aware that when you're in there and you see the high pressure sales turning on, you see, hey, I can get this, and usually the goods and services they're selling you are really not of good quality either, then you pretty much know that they're going to try to hammer you with a debt obligation that you probably are going to get in trouble with. And the real selling point is a lot of times people go into these organizations and they say, hey, I'll pay with cash. You'll be surprised. These companies are not interested in that. They're not really interested in selling you this furniture. That's not what they're there for. They're to sell you debt. They're to sell you into debt. Now, you can argue, are they unethical? I'm not even saying they're unethical. I'm just simply saying you need to be aware of them. This is how these people operate. You know that you need to know the game that they're playing. As I've said in other videos, business is a choreographed performance between a customer and a business. And you got to know what game they're playing. So if you go to like a family-owned furniture store and they say, well, our interest rates are reasonable, they're 5%. If you're late, here's your penalty if you make a late payment. You need to see that all up front. You need to explain to them, hey, I don't have a lot of money. And I would recommend starting off small. Don't buy a house full of furniture. You say, what do I need? Well, maybe I just need a bed to sleep in, and I'll just deal with the chair. I'll go into a local store, a Kmart or a Sears or a Walmart. I'll get a couple chairs just to hang out on. Again, I'm not saying this is pleasant, but this is a good business life experience. Beware of these camouflage companies. They're in camouflage. They have decoys. They're really financial organizations. They're out to lure you in, to get you into a high interest rate loan or high interest monthly payment. They'll have, it'll be this thick, this thick will be the document you sign. And you might even want to say, even if you go in here, say, can I get a copy of this agreement and have someone else, a business person or a lawyer or a CPA, review this before I even sign it. Never sign, I always tell people, don't sign things right away. Go in with the intention just to shop, leave your wallet, leave your checkbook at home. I'm not here to buy today. Do your searching online, call them in advance, see if they'll email you things. And if they're hard to deal with over the phone, that already tells you what you're going to deal with if something goes wrong. So I always recommend you should call the business and see what their customer service is like, if any, that they have over the phone. If the phone rings off the hook and no one answers, this is what it's going to be like if you have a situation with them. So these are things to be aware of. I call them camouflage businesses or masquerade businesses. They masquerade as one thing. In fact, they're really a financial institution, and they just so happen to sell cars, and they just so happen to sell furniture, and they just so happen to sell other goods and services. But in reality, they're there to get you, and they may hand you over to another company to do the financing. And of course, if you get into financial trouble, that company's going to turn you over to the collection services. So it's an entire industry built up on this. From a business that hands you off to a financial institution who hands you off to a collection agency. So you want to make sure, and you want to check online and ask them and be straight up. You got to be informed. Do you have a lot of collections? Do you have a lot of repos? Now, they're not going to answer these questions, by the way. They're going to get pretty uncomfortable talking to you. But then you know not to deal with them. I'd recommend, at this point, save up your money and go to a Walmart, a Kmart, a Sears, or a locally family-owned furniture store and buy what you can afford at that time. You say, well, man, I got kids, I got to have a bed for them. I understand that. But it's better to go this route in life versus getting into debt, fighting with these people, spending, all the heartache you're going to spend trying to get out of the debt that they're going to put you into. Be smart, grow small, go slow, use the Goodwill stores, find out online. There are people who have stuff they don't need. If you want to create a business, there should be like an Uber of furniture. We can move it around because we don't need it anymore. And these services are starting to surface. So beware of the camouflage or the masquerade business out there, you young people. Be very careful of them. Ask tough questions. Look at the interest rates. I guarantee you, if they're high interest rates, if they're above 10%, you already know you're going to deal with someone who's going to really sock it to you. So a lot of companies are in this mode now. They're not what they appear to be. You think, oh, well, they're this. No, they're really selling you debt. So this has been Bob Brown. I hope this has been some help. This is a Business Life 101, and I'm just sharing my experiences of things I've seen people get into, what I've got into, and what I get out of. And my last parting note is never have a credit card. If you have a credit card, keep it a secret. Keep it to yourself. Just pay it so you have credit worthiness. If you're really, really, really disciplined, which no one is, by the way, you can make payments on it. But generally, people with credit cards get into trouble. I tend to recommend staying away from them other than credit worthiness or if you have to travel. So these are some basic ideas. Dave Ramsey's programs are excellent. They're not geared towards accountants. They're geared towards average people. So look into Dave Ramsey. I'm going to do some videos on explaining how Dave Ramsey can help you. Millions of people have gone that route, and it's helped them out. This has been Bob Brown, and as always, keep studying.